Thanks for coming in, Mr. Mahoney. Do you have your member ID card?
Yep, I have it right here in the FEP Blue app, see?
Great.
It's awesome. The app can also help me find a provider and keep tabs on my deductibles.
Okay, can I...
Oh, yeah, and my out-of-pocket spending and visit limits, and I can call the nurse line.
I'm really glad it does all that, but I only need to see your member ID card.
Oh, that's it? Why didn't you say so?
Fearless is just one tap away. With the new FEP Blue app from Blue Cross and Blue Shield, you can access your health benefits on the go. Download it now at fepblue.org/app.
The attack. Roseanne Solis and Joaquin Ramirez say gunman Devin Patrick Kelly went aisle by aisle through the pews and shot crying babies at point-blank range. The co-founder of the company behind a controversial report on President Trump has agreed to testify before a congressional committee.
Attorneys for Glenn Simpson have struck a deal for Simpson to give closed-door testimony before the House Intelligence Committee next week. And they say he won't assert his Fifth Amendment rights, as have two previous witnesses. Simpson's a co-founder of Fusion GPS, the company behind a controversial dossier on the president. Republicans have complained much of that company's research was bankrolled by the Democratic National Committee and the Clinton campaign.
That's Capitol Hill correspondent Wally Ines reporting. With two governorships going to Democrats Tuesday, House Speaker Paul Ryan tells the Salem Radio Network the message is clear.
If there's any message to be gotten out of this, get our work done, make people's lives better, show there's a reason you want conservatives in charge of government.
Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer.
The Republicans should look at the elections last night, and it should be a giant stop sign for their tax bill.
Congress is on track to approve tax overhaul by the end of the year. President Trump is hoping to woo several Democrats to his side of the aisle. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Fall is finally here, and as you spend more time indoors relaxing with friends and family, make sure you knock out your #1 home improvement project with SelectBlinds.com. Whether you're cooped up watching your favorite show or hanging with friends for the big game, nothing complements your interior more than SelectBlinds.com. Select Blinds makes ordering blinds online simple and easy. Select and order high-quality, easy-to-install blinds, shades, and shutters today. With products you've seen on all your favorite home improvement shows, SelectBlinds.com is an interior makeover essential. Select Blinds has the most online reviews and 5-star ratings on the planet. SelectBlinds.com really is the simple and smart way to buy blinds. To get the best deals on blinds, shades, and shutters, shop today at SelectBlinds.com. Remember to
Spot it. Barbara Ortate reports Twitter is taking on a new look as the service seeks wider audiences in the shadow of Facebook.
Ever since it was founded more than 10 years ago, Twitter has only let people tweet 140 characters. That's really short. So what it's discovered over the years is that a lot of people were spending time editing their tweets and not tweeting even because they just couldn't fit all their thoughts and what they wanted to say into 140 characters. So Twitter decided to double how much you can say to 280.
Snapchat, which is struggling, is also making changes to track more users.
Their user base is basically 13 to 34, and I think even 34 is stretching it. And so Snapchat just said that they're going to redesign the whole app to make it easier to use.
Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Former President Barack Obama greeted fellow potential jurors as he showed up for jury duty in Chicago Wednesday, including one who was holding his book.
How are you? Good to see you. Look at this. Did you know I was coming? Yes, I did. See there? It must have leaked. He brought my book and everything. That's
Absolutely. Wow. How are you? Good to see you.
How are you? Nice to meet you.
Mr. Obama signed one of his books for a woman in the jury assembly room.
Don't take the chief judge's pen. How are you, sir? I'm really good to see you. How are you?
The former president lives in Washington but maintains a home in Chicago. With a Harvard Law School degree, experience teaching law, and 8 years as commander-in-chief, he's a pretty decent candidate for jury duty. Mr. Obama is not the first former president to receive a notice for jury duty. In 2015, former President George W. Bush reported for jury duty at a Dallas courthouse. Mr. Bush was not selected, and neither was Mr. Obama, as he was dismissed from the pool. More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm Patrick Foss.
This just in. Before your doctor gives you another antibiotic prescription that you don't want, get this free report, The Miracle of Garlic, your first home medicine. This free report is filled with easy kitchen remedies for common colds, flus, sore throats, ear infections, and more. Plus, learn to boost your immunity before you get sick. Go now to gcnwellness.com. Just like it sounds, gcnwellness.com to get your free report, The Miracle of Garlic. Click gcnwellness.com.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
If you don't want to hear real facts on social and political issues, then stop listening now. Otherwise, stay right here for real issues, real facts with real people.
Accelerate your culturalization of America.
But when the Dems use the argument that we're all immigrants, I want to turn into Tasmanian devil with two clubs in Miami, clear the road. They were immigrants that came here because they wanted to be here. They wanted to learn the American. They wanted the American dream. You cannot get the American dream speaking Spanish.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to live your life, son.
I'm going to deal with topics and issues that will make you think, make you mad, and maybe even get you a little embarrassed. So don't go anywhere. The lines are open. You can reach me at 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563.
You're all so stupid. Did you take lessons?
You're despicable.
Welcome back to another session of Sanity. Always a pleasure to have you with me, and I do appreciate the time that you're spending with me on the air, in the chat room, texting, tweeting, and being part of the conversation. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. You really do need you really do need to be part of the conversation, seriously. Because the way I see it, unless you're part of the, unless you're helping to move the conversation along, unless you're helping to fix it, to come up with a solution, then you're part of the problem, and you just need to go. It's really that simple. Just go. Get it over with and get out. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if you head up to the website, therealside.com, you can watch live, listen live, take the poll. Buy my book, Ramblings of a Right-Wing Bible-Thumping White Guy. All the labels at the left, the group that says they hate labels are the ones that are giving me those labels. So good luck to them. Anyway, always a pleasure to have you on board. I always appreciate the time that you're spending with me on the air, in the chat room, texting, tweeting, and truly being part of the conversation. Conservative writer says that God was answering prayers of Texas victims by letting them get shot. Now, I can't help it if there's some people that are taking drugs claiming to be Christians. I can't help it if there's idiots out there screaming that they know better. So Hans Fien, I don't even know if that's his real name, Hans Fien, a Lutheran pastor who's also a regular contributor to the right-wing website The Federalist, has written a new column in which he explains that allowing 26 people to die in the hands of a crazed gunman at the First Baptist Church, First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs, Texas, this weekend was actually God's way of answering their prayers. I got nothing. Fain begins his column by attacking liberals who have mocked Republican politicians who offer thoughts and prayers for shooting victims, who don't take any direct action that could prevent future shootings. This is according to the writer, by the way. He then explains to the liberals that it was part of God's plan that over 24 people would get shot up while in their own house of worship. It may seem on the surface that God was refusing to give such protection to his Texas children, he writes, but we're also praying that God would deliver us from evil eternally. That's with these same words, we're asking God to deliver us out of this evil world and into heavenly glory where no violence, persecution, cruelty, or hatred will ever affect us again. Fien then says that in order to fully defeat evil, eternally, God's had to let evil get some temporary victories. The guy's, I'm telling you, he's a Christian. The guy's whacked. His medication's off. He's wrong. All right? You hear me on the show constantly say that when somebody does something like this or talks like this, or even if something violent was done here, right, we should, as Christians, come out and really let people know what the truth is, not allow these guys just to go on. Now, whether the guy was committing victory, calling for victory, or saying, evil and violence, or saying that evil and violence is okay, this guy is wrong. God has to allow evil to have some temporary victories. The creator of the universe needs to allow evil to prevail. Are you nuts? So when a madman with a rifle sought to persecute the faithful at the First Baptist Church on Sunday morning, he failed, Fain says, just like those who put Christ to death. Just like those who brought violence to believers in every generation. This man only succeeded in being the means through which God delivers his children from evil and brought them into an eternity of righteousness and peace. Yeah, I guess he missed that whole Christmas story about peace on earth, goodwill to men, right? Peace on earth. I guess he missed that whole scripture where God wants us to be healthy, right? He wants us to be in health. He wants us to prosper, right? Right? We can be in the perfect peace of God if we abide in him, abide in his word, do what he wants us to do. This guy missed all of that. Okay, for those of you who are going to read this and think this is the way Christians think, most Christians, no. This is a very small portion of Christian ignorant Christians. I'll put it that way. I'm trying to be nice, right? You look at this and you think about what these people are saying. So the only way God could bring these people to a peaceful situation is to take them out violently. Okay, come on, think. Right? It's just craziness. Now the story I'm pulling from, the site's whack to begin with. It's called rawstory.com. Yeah, you got some pretty wacky stories in there, and they are left. Because this is where I get mad too. You won't find many on the right following these. They won't go to a site like this. Read, I will. I do it for the job. So you need to. This is why I say to you, you need to think. You need to understand. You need to know how the other side thinks. Right? You need to know what they're thinking, where their mind, how they get to these decisions. Again, putting a pastor up here, and the title of the article is "Conservative Writer Says God Answered Prayers of the Texas Victims by Letting Them Get Shot." Now, does that sound whacked or what? See, my God's not the God of chaos. He says in his book, he says God is not the author of chaos, of craziness. Joe's version, but the same nonetheless. You don't defeat evil by letting it win. How does that work? Do you win a football game by letting the other team score? How does that work? See, I think the story actually shows you how whacked the writer at Raw Story is over this. I think it shows you where their mindset and how much they're trying to twist. Yeah, you say that 3 times fast. Trying to twist a story to fit their narrative about us. I'm Joe Mancini, your host. Always a pleasure to have you with me. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Hey, up next, the guy you like, David Fisher. We're going to talk about finances in a way that you can understand, I can understand, we can all understand, really, some of the words they use. Not only can I not spell, even if I can spell them, I still don't have a clue as to what they mean. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Don't go far.
J&M Enterprises is a full-service screen printing company. They print on shirts, pants, hats, cups, frisbees, sports bags, sweatshirts, tote bags, and most any other promotional items. J&M has been family-owned and operated for over 25 years. J&M takes pride in providing high-quality products and services because we care. Our state-of-the-art equipment enables us to print high volume with superior quality on any job. We print on clothing lines for schools, businesses, sports teams, and bands nationwide. Our team is committed to total customer satisfaction and the quality you should expect from a professional screen printing company. J&M, family-owned and operated. Give us a call. We guarantee a great product and a great price. 800-462-0002. For a price quote, 800-468-0002. Or go to the web at www.jnm.cc.
Sometimes life can be a pain in the neck, or back, or shoulder. Long-distance travel or long hours in front of a computer can take its toll on your body. Why take another pill? Treat your aches and pains with Sunshine Pillows. Microwavable heat wraps, heatable neck pillows, and extra-large body heating wraps. Sunshine Pillows and wraps are designed better for perfect support where and when you need it, even while driving. Sunshine Pillows are designed with your comfort in mind, will not burn you, and will stay balanced on your body to provide soothing hot or cold therapy to treat temporary or chronic pain. And the best part, Sunshine Pillows start at just $20. Join hundreds of our happy customers and see why Sunshine Pillows has a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. Click sunshine-pillows.com and take the Sunshine Pillow Challenge. That's sunshine-pillows.com.
You look stressed, Marie. Everything okay?
Well, I'm a little worried. Scott got a letter from the IRS that we owe $30,000. Now third-party collectors are calling. The IRS may start garnishing our wages, and we just can't afford that.
Relax, Marie. Just do what Mark and I did and call Community Tax.
Community Tax's highly accredited team of tax professionals knows how to protect your savings and stop wage garnishments, audits, levies, liens, and property seizures. Depending on your circumstances, you may only have to pay a fraction of what you owe. If you owe the IRS back taxes you can't afford to pay, call our toll-free hotline to learn how you can resolve your tax problem and potentially save thousands of dollars. Don't pay a penny more than what you have to. And don't be fooled by scams or harassed by collection agencies. Even if you're already in a payment plan, call now for a free consultation. For your free 5-minute best price guarantee quote that could save you thousands, call 800-792-8287. That's 800-792-8287. 800-792-8287.
This just in. Before your doctor gives you another antibiotic prescription that you don't want, get this free report, The Miracle of Garlic, your first home medicine. This free report is filled with easy kitchen remedies for common colds, flus, sore throats, ear infections, and more. Plus, learn to boost your immunity before you get sick. Go now to gcnwellness.com. Just like it sounds, gcnwellness.com to get your free report, The Miracle of Garlic. Click gcnwellness.com.
We all know that Berkey Water Purification Systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey Water Filtration Systems. The Berkey Light Systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light System today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
Most people think life insurance pays after you're dead. That's true. But did you know you can have tax-free access to your life insurance while you're still alive? You can use the life benefits of your life insurance to grow your money with certainty and guarantees. No stock market risk, no tax risk, and no penalties. Call Life Benefits if you'd like a free book about how this can be done. Call 702-660-7000. That's 702-660-7000.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. If you shoot him, you'll just make him mad.
You got to sneak up on it, you know what I'm saying? I'm Joe Messina, your host. You're listening to Real Side on GCN Live. Always a pleasure to have you with me. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Head up to the website, therealside.com. You're going to find smarter people than I am in the chat. I guarantee it. In the chat room there, and hopefully we can keep them on task. But they usually are on task when my next guest is on with me. David Fisher, CEO of Landmark Capital, joins me like he does every week to kind of keep us up on what's going on in the markets with precious metals, with your real estate, where you can keep your finances safe. David, thanks for being with me.
Where can you keep your finances safe is the question.
Well, listen, I now have plastic coffee jars, because the metal ones rust when they're in the ground too long. So I now have plastic coffee jars that I'm going to shove my pennies into and bury them in the backyard somewhere. Unless we have a nuclear blast, I think I'll be okay with that.
Well, I have the real side with Joe Messina coffee mug in my hand with a microphone on it, TRS, and that's what I use every day to have my cup of coffee at my company.
And it tastes better.
I store important things in it, like coffee that's disposable.
There you go. No,
I reuse it, but no, I don't have the coffee can jars or anything like that.
Think of that in the old days. That's how people saved money. They stuck it between the mattresses and all kinds of other places because they didn't trust banks, right? I mean, that was really what it boiled down to.
It's the Depression era is what they lived through. Either they saw it with their parents and they were young, and many of those are my clients today. They see the reality. We'll kind of talk about that. There's a country that's getting ready that's making a big movement towards gold, and because I think they're seeing some repetitive signs here. But that's what we talk about. Where to put your money. Gold is a portion of the solution to that. It's not the only solution, and neither are stocks the only solution. But
you've said that. Yeah, you said that many times. You've said that there's you got to diversify, and at one point you were 3, and now you were 4. You've been up to 4 different ways to do it, which I really like because it's kind of encompasses everything. But I don't want to lose time here. President Trump's tax plan. Again, it was released. The certain group jumped all over it on how bad it was. Is this a good deal? And what do you see as the major points in the tax plan?
Well, first of all, as a whole, I like the deal, although there's some landmines in it that, it's kind of one of those things we got to start making some changes in our tax system and in our spending habits. And he's addressing the spending habits kind of, although we haven't had any spending reduction, we're spending more. But we're just honing the money a little bit more effectively, in my opinion, with less government on the payroll. But when it comes to the tax, it hasn't been overhauled in 30 years since Reagan. If you live in New York, New Jersey, or some blue states, you're not going to like the plan because if you're those states, the upper class, those people are making over $1 million, they don't get a tax break. In fact, they get away the deductions for their local taxes being able to be deducted on the federal level. So most people do not like that, but they're trying to streamline it through, better deductions. But the people in those states are going to get hit on that. They get hit on, and most of those people that live in those states, their mortgages are over $500,000 because residential properties cost so much money. So they get hit on that. They take away the deduction for homes purchased up to $500,000. Currently, it was $1 million. Now it's down to $500,000. But otherwise, the rest of America, this is going to benefit. So it just comes down to what state you're in, and that's why certain Republicans, like the man, Representative Lee Zeldin from New York, doesn't like this current form, but he says we're close, very close. It just needs to be trimmed a little bit. So the problem is that you got to start somewhere, and everybody's got to start to participate in this thing.
Yeah, it's really funny because you've got all these representatives, you've got people from different states, and not everything is good for everybody. If you give in to everything, you end up with a blank piece of paper again. You're not going to take on anything if you give in to everyone who wants something taken out of it or what have you. You won't get anywhere. You're right. You have to start someplace, and it's always painful, isn't it?
We got to face some pain, otherwise, in the short term. Otherwise, we're going to have big pain in the near term.
Yep. Now, listen, President Trump is on his Asian tour, and he spoke in Japan about trade. And you and I kind of talked about it offline a little bit, and I don't think people really understand how trade deficits and how we work with our other quote-unquote partners.
Well, most of the countries of the world create something and outsource it to another country or countries, and that's called trade. And so we trade our products with their products. The challenge that America faces is more products come into our country than go out of our country. And part of it is because of the products that we manufacture, but the bigger reason is, Joe, is look at our lifestyle here in America. This is why people want to move to America. America is the greatest nation on earth. We also have one of the highest unmanageable debt structure on earth. So we got there by creating debt. But our lifestyle, which is funded by how much people make in their employment is much more higher than the rest of the world. So if we're paying people more in wages, and some say it's still not high enough in reference to other people that are being paid in the United States, but we're still paying our citizens that work here a lot more money than people in a foreign country that does the same thing. So this is why our products are going to be higher in priced. This is why we sell less to the rest of the world. This is why we have a trade deficit. And President Trump, was in Japan talking about the trade deficit between us and Japan, which is $69 billion, is what it was in 2006. So we're not winning, as he says. Japan is winning in the trade deficit. But he said in his speech, he says, quote, we want to be fair and open and have an open trade. But right now our trade with Japan is not fair. It's not open. The U.S. has suffered massive trade deficits with Japan for many, many years. Imagine speaking before the Council of Japan, and he's saying this. So he's not afraid to mince words, obviously. But and he said millions and millions of cars are sold by Japan in the United States, whereas virtually no cars go from the U.S. to Japan. Trying to build your cars in the United States instead of shipping them over, that's not too much to ask. Is that rude to ask? ? So he's right on his facts to a certain extent, but, I'm going to always say here's where I think he's missing some of the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey would say. Japanese,
that's right.
Last year, Japanese automakers manufactured approximately 4.2 million cars in the United States and 4.5 million engines in the United States. This created revenue for the United States. That's a lot of cars.
Right.
This created jobs for Americans in the United States. So think with me, is Nissan, which is a Japanese automaker, going to uproot their whole company and make only Japanese cars in the United States to sell to American people?
Of course
No,
not. No,
they're not. So his statement is not really being realistic. This is what makes the world go round. Trade.
Right.
And we have to accept we're going to have some trade deficits coming our way because we have higher wages than what the rest of the world has by far. So, I get it where he wants to do this. So, it's not just one thing. We don't like what you're doing and stop building cars out in your country. And, would we stop building Chryslers and not ship them across the world? Of course not.
We got to go for a break. I'm Joe Messina, your host. You're listening to The Real Side on GCN Live. David Fisher, CEO of Landmark Capital, joins me. We'll be back in a minute.
J&M Enterprises is a full-service screen printing company. They print on shirts, pants, hats, cups, frisbees, sports bags, sweatshirts, tote bags, and most any other promotional items. J&M has been family-owned and operated for over 25 years. J&M takes pride in providing high-quality products and services because we care. Our state-of-the-art equipment enables us to print high volume with superior quality on any job. We print on clothing lines for schools, businesses, sports teams, and bands nationwide. Our team is committed to total customer satisfaction and the quality you should expect from a professional screen printing company. J&M, family owned and operated. Give us a call. We guarantee a great product and a great price. 800-462-0002 or a price quote 800-468-0002 or go to the web at www.jnm.cc.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
This just in. Before your doctor gives you another antibiotic prescription that you don't want, get this free report, The Miracle of Garlic, your first home medicine. This free report is filled with easy kitchen remedies for common colds, flus, sore throats, ear infections, and more. Plus, learn to boost your immunity before you get sick. Go now to GCNwellness.com. Just like it sounds, GCNwellness.com to get your free report, The Miracle of Garlic. Click GCNwellness.com.
Heart disease is on the rise. Clogged arteries, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol levels may not be fully detected by you, but the symptoms are there. Loss of energy, blood sugar spikes and drops, poor circulation, and irregular heartbeat are just a few of these that can alert you that something is wrong. Hear how Heart and Body Extract is making a difference in thousands of people's lives across America.
My blood pressure has normalized. My diabetes has totally improved.
Everyone is telling me now how much healthier I look, and I'm telling everyone how much healthier I feel. I recommend Heart and Body Extract to everyone.
Anybody over 40 in the North American continent should be using this product as a preventative to keep their cardiovascular system healthy.
Order your 2-month supply today by calling 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. Or order online, hbextract.com. Heart and Body Extract, 866-295-5305 or hbextract.com.
A lot can happen in 6 seconds. A rodeo ride, a dramatic basketball win, and the world record holder can solve a Rubik's Cube. 6 seconds is how long it takes for an 18-wheeler traveling at a safe speed to come to a complete stop. And in those 6 seconds, that truck will travel the length of 2 football fields. So please, give them room. Never cut in front of a large truck for any reason. Our roads, our responsibility. Learn more at sharetheroadsafely.gov.
They travel from world to world, making everyone stupid in order to wipe out all thought in the universe.
Wipe out all thought?
I think it's dirty politics.
They're like flying televisions.
Welcome back to The Real Side with Joe Messina.
We are back. Yeah, that's about what government looks like now. I'm Joe Messina, your host. Always a pleasure to have you with me. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. I love it when my next guest is on with me every week. We kind of get we do get a financial update in plain, simple English. And, you learn a little bit about stocks and precious metals and, how to hold on to your money and how to make it grow. So always appreciate David. He's the CEO of Landmark Capital, joins me every week. And, David, again, thanks for being with me today. We were talking about trade, and a lot of people really don't understand how trade works. And I get the fact, that other countries like Japan have to have their workers working as well. And Trump just doesn't really, I think it's a verbiage thing for him. I don't think he really understands how to lay it out. And like Reagan with the wall, when he said, Gorbachev, tear down this wall, there were people that were going out of their minds, he's not being presidential, he doesn't understand. But if we don't get this trade thing equalized, I don't even know the term to use. You can help me if there's an actual trade term, but get it equalized, we're always going to be on the short end of the stick, are we not?
Well, we're going to be on the short end of the stick, but that doesn't mean we're losing money. Okay. And that's what needs to be understood. We're not losing any money by being on the short end of this trade stick because you have to look at the reality. Now, I'm not going on this company I'm going to list called John Deere. I grew up on a farm. We didn't have a John Deere tractor. We had a Ford and an International, and we had other tractors. But John Deere is a company, and I'm not going in depth on them, but they're an American company. But they have 102 locations in America and around the world. So is John Deere going to stop and only make something in America and not in any other country? Of course not, because the cost of doing that and shipping a tractor across the world that's a really good quality tractor, this equivalency of like a Mercedes-Benz, and again, I'm not endorsing Mercedes-Benz. I mean, you have to use something as an example.
Yep.
Mercedes-Benz is all around the world, but they're based out of Germany. So to say that, hey, you can't sell as many cars and you only should make them in our country is really I'm going to say it this way, unfortunately, it's an ignorant statement. That's not how the world works in manufacturing. The only way we're going to get to that level is we got to cut all these taxes that we put in front, and President Trump's trying to do that. As part of the tax plan. We're going to have a severe reduction in taxes on a corporate level. And he's moving that direction, and we're getting still a lot of fight. He wants to move it from 39% down to, the corporate tax down from 35% down to 15%, and still it's not going to be the lowest or even close to the lowest. It's just going to start to compete. We're so far above the rest of the world in corporate tax, it's ridiculous. That will help trade. So it'll bring more companies that are making their products in their country into America to make that product in a company that they'll create in America. So that's what needs to happen here. And President Trump's on the right path. He just says some things that are not fully accurate when, this trade deficit. It's a long way to get away from the trade deficit to get equal. We got to do a lot of things, and it has to be done more on our part, not the other country's part.
Well, you alluded to it in what you were talking about, which is a true statement. It's not a dig. Some people are going to take it as it was a dig at unions, but it's not a dig at unions. It's a dig at the reality that we can price ourselves out of the markets in other areas. And there are people not making as much in other countries doing the same jobs that we're doing here in America, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. John Deere has 4 plants in China. I'm looking at it right now on their website. They have 4 major places in China that John Deere is getting their tractors and parts out. So, this is how the world has evolved to. We live in a global society. It's just we got to get our tax base down to make it appealing for countries to send their to manufacture a product that America would buy, put it in America. But we got to get rid of the tax rates to do that.
Yeah, when it comes to finances, it's not as easy as people think it is. Seriously, they oversimplify how money moves. They oversimplify how people get paid and how that affects the rest of the economy. I know we don't have it. It wasn't something we had talked about earlier, but I try to explain to people when you talk about any kind of increase in minimum wage, I don't care what it is. You want to go with the $15? The truck driver delivering your food to the supermarket, all of a sudden he's got to pay more for lunch, right? So he goes to his boss and he asks for a raise. The boss gives him a raise because he understands he's paying more for lunch. Who ends up paying for that? The supermarket. And the supermarket's got to make, it just becomes a vicious cycle at some point in time. And people don't see that. They don't seem to understand that. That's just me venting for a second.
Well, this comes down to we had a jobless recovery. We didn't have good jobs coming back to the economy, but that's one thing that President Trump is trying to do by making America great again. So it's just going to be a long road. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's going to start, I think, and will be helpful with this tax plan that he's talking about.
Yeah, well, I believe you, and I hope that you are right. Now, he's come back to the table. He's asked for $4 billion from Congress yesterday. Didn't we just pass a budget and we actually added quite a bit of money to the military budget? Why does he need another $4 billion?
We passed a $4.1 trillion budget, which was the largest budget in the history of our country. So we're spending more, not spending less. And they increased the budget to military, yes, but now he's asking $4 billion. They already increased it $6 billion last year in the budget. Now they're including another $4 billion on top of that, so it'd be $10 billion to support urgent missile defeat and defense enhancements to counter the threat against North Korea. So they're, I guess this is proactive and good, and I'd rather be proactive than reactive when it comes to North Korea or anything of that magnitude. But it comes down to, just like when Bush was in office post 9/11. How much do we spend on fighting a war and creating, a whole new, homeland security that was created out post 9/11. So, there's a lot of money that the government spent. How much do you do of that as a knee-jerk reaction, and how much is really needed? I'm not demeaning President Bush at all in any way. I think he did what we had to do. But at the end of the day, where's the money come from? That's the problem. That is the whole problem.
I hear you, and I'm thinking the same thing as you're talking, but even with the cuts, even though we need cuts, we should have cuts. there are a lot of cuts made to our military in other places where we're now almost in a catch-up scenario. And you know as well as I do, when you're catching up, sometimes it costs you twice as much money because you've let it go so long or it's become so bad. So I don't know. I'm not the expert when it comes to money. I have a hard time balancing my checkbook at the end of the week. So.
Well, to put it into perspective, $700 million of the $4 billion is to repair damaged U.S. Navy ships, and $1.2 billion is in support of the administration of the South Asia strategy. So, and then the other part is just to beef up nuclear and what's going on with North Korea. So it's not all a North Korea thing. Some of it is we just did exactly what you're saying. We ignored some maintenance that needs to be done, and we need the money for it.
Yep. Hey, you and I have talked about this a half a dozen times, and that's the Fed, what's going on at the Fed. Now, President Trump announced Jerome Powell as his choice for the new Fed chairman. What's your thoughts on him?
Well, he's going to follow in the footsteps of Yellen. He's been a Fed Board of Governors since 2012, so he has some experience. He's going to follow Yellen in slowly raising rates, Joe, but he's going to sell off the assets called the balance sheet. His critics say he lacks a little bit of background in economics, according to Yellen and Greenspan, his predecessors. But I think he's going to be. I think he's the best pick. But I think he's inheriting a big problem. To me, it just comes down to simple math. It's irrelevant on their views and who they are, or Democrats, Republicans, or any of that, or how much experience. It's a math game, and math doesn't lie. You can try to, do charts and data, but it's just simple math. We got a $20 trillion debt. We got $4.5 trillion on the Fed balance sheet. They got to get rid of this. It's creating a bubble in the bond market, and we could see that being the biggest of them all. So that's where the problem lies within, in my opinion. We can talk a little bit more about that if you want.
Well, it's I don't want people to get too crazy with this because I got some other stuff I want to hit with you. I think it's really important. You keep talking about unwinding the Fed balance sheet. I mean, that just kind of petrifies me when you talk about that. Because, again, you have said in the past it has not created stability. But you know what? Let's hit that on the other side of the break because I know once you get into that, I don't want to stop you. And people, you need to understand what's going on with money. And the reason you need to understand what's going on in the markets and overseas and with precious metals, stocks, bonds, all of that is so you know what to do with your money. Again, there are a lot of people who have millions and millions of dollars sitting around they don't know what to do with. Most people are working, week to week. They got their little nest egg. They got their house. Do you really know what it's going to take to keep your money secure? Well, if you want to know, come on back because David Fisher, CEO of Landmark Capital, will be with us on the other side of the break.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. $39.95 plus shipping and handling. Use discount code GCN and receive 15% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter and get your Bug Assault today.
Investing is a long-term process. How many times can you think of in the last decade that the stock market has destroyed retirement funds for people just like you and me? For your existing IRA, you need the security that gold has provided for centuries. Remember, gold has never been worth zero. Capital Gold would like to introduce you to the Home Storage Gold IRA. It's a self-directed IRA set up with all the protection and tax benefits of an LLC. But the big difference in this IRA is you invest in gold and you hold it in your possession. You can't do that with stocks. That's security. You can transfer any type of IRA hassle-free in days. Please call right now and learn more, and we'll waive the $500 setup fee and give you a free safe to store your gold. 800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. That's 800-535-7789.
Are you living your passion? Are you pumped to go to work because you get to talk about or work with or do the things that interest you the most? Is working, playing, and relaxing one and the same? As long as you're working for someone else, you'll never be living entirely true to yourself and your passion. I'm Pharmacist Keith. Let me show you how you can work around your current schedule, create the extra income so you can live your passion. Visit radio.recordedvideo.com. That's radio.recordedvideo.com. radio.recordedvideo.com.
Does the current world crisis in North Korea or our domestic crisis right here in America concern you? Well, I know it concerns me. My friends over at Legacy Food Storage have solutions in the event there's the inevitable. What's the inevitable? Civil unrest, a run on your local grocery store. And here's my question to you. If this happens, how do you feed your children? How do you feed your grandchildren? Legacy Food Storage has the solutions. In fact, they can help you implement a simple plan to take care of your needs in the event of the inevitable. By calling them right now, I have authorized them to give you a special 20% discount at checkout by simply using GCN. Call 888-543-7345 or visit them at legacyfoodstorage.com. That's 888-543-7345 or visiting them at legacyfoodstorage.com. Make sure you use GCN at checkout for an incredible 20% discount. Don't be a victim. Take control of your life now.
Warning. If you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-959-5759. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-959-5759. That's 1-800-959-5759. 1-800-959-5759.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-765-9681 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-765-9681. Again, that's 800-765-9681.
Why, I've never been so insulted in my life.
Well, it's early yet.
We are back. I'm going to learn how to say boogie down with a Lawrence Welk kind of accent. Seriously, I think it would be hilarious. Can you see Lawrence Welk, just at a disco roller rink doing all the announcements? I just think that would be wonderful. Anyway, I'm Joe Messina, your host. Always a pleasure to have you with me. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. No laughing matter is your money and how to keep your money safe in the different areas that you need to know about. You need to have a clue anyway. You don't have to be an expert. You just need to have a clue, because if you really want an expert, it's really simple. You want to call David Fisher at Landmark Capital. He is the expert. You can find him at 844-715-7311, 844-715-7311, or go to landmarkgold.com. David Fisher, as usual, thank you for being with me. Love it when you're with me.
Oh, it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful to be with you, Joe. That's what you should say about what you're talking about, that song. I'm not trying to do my Lawrence Welk imitation, but something that's not wonderful that we're talking about is what's getting ready to possibly happen in the bond market. Let me put it into perspective. we talk about stocks all the time. We hardly ever talk about bonds. But I've been watching this, kind of keeping my mouth shut, but I'm not talking about it because it's pretty obvious. Lots of people are starting to talk about this, saying there's a bubble that's forming in the bond market. People who know a lot more about this than I do are saying these things. So it's not a coming from a gold angle. It's coming from a financial preservation wealth angle. To put into perspective, the bond market, global bond market, has more than tripled in size in the past 15 years and now exceeds $100 trillion. By contrast, Joe, the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones together make up about 40 trillion. So those two markets are a lot less than bonds.
David, before you continue on, quickly, tell people what a bond is. I mean, I'm not so sure people really understand what a bond is.
Well, you're tracking with me. I was going to let you know that. So the United States spends more money than it takes in, and then it makes a phone call to the Treasury, in essence, and says, hey, we need more money. Can you create a piece of paper? It's called a Treasury. That's what a bond is. So a 10-year Treasury note is one type of a bond. They have, short-term and they have long-term, 30 years. They're trying to create it. Remember, I was on your program a few months ago, 6 months ago. They were, saying, shall we create a 50-year and a 100-year bond now? Because, it's like a dollar bill. A dollar bill doesn't buy what it used to, so let's create, higher denomination of notes. So it's bonds. Bond is just something, a note that's created by a government. And it promises to pay back that people invest in a percentage rate over time for the duration of that time of the contract. So 20-year note, a 6-year note, a 5-year note, a 10-year note. Okay. So
bonds, for all intents and purposes, not in reality, but for all intents and purposes, bonds are pretty secure.
A Treasury is the most secure investment by far in the world. I mean, that's not even debatable.
Okay. All right. Just so people are aware. Go ahead. Continue on.
There's also municipality bonds. That's what I'm not talking about today. But there are those type of bonds, which is, you say your water district needed to raise money, so they create a bond. People buy that bond for a period of time, and they get paid an interest rate plus their money back. But we're talking about government bonds. So what has happened here, in contrast, it's $100 trillion is the global bond market. Adding up the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones, it's $64 trillion. $40 trillion. And the global stock market is $64 trillion. So bonds are a lot more than stocks by far. The bond market is hardly ever talked about. It's not popular. The stocks are what's popular.
It's boring.
It is. But we have to pay attention to it because it's the largest market in the world. If the largest market is in a bubble or is in trouble to create a bubble, it could trigger a stock market correction because we live in a global society. Right. In fact, a lot of pensions have bonds and a lot of governments hold bonds. In fact, the number one bond that's held in the world is treasuries. So that's what the Fed is unwinding. They're selling their treasuries now. So think with me. What happened here around October 17th-ish, within a day of each other, the 4 largest bonds that trade in the world, the U.S., the Japanese, the Germany, and the UK, all did the same thing, sent the same signal. Bond yields started to rise. When bond yields rise, bond prices go lower, so the value of what you're holding goes lower. When bond prices go lower, the bond bubble is created, and it's now creating a serious problem because there's indications that we're moving into an inflationary environment. Most investors who are in the know are seeing we're moving towards a multi-year trend of inflation expectations. So this creates problems for the bond market. They're saying that this could actually be in a bubble. Now, many people are saying this. People who run the largest bond fund in the world have been saying this, that we're heading into a bond environment that the bubble could create a bubble, and if it gets out of control, it could burst. And so Bill Gross, the largest bond trader in the world, has been saying this. So imagine it'd be like me saying, Joe, oh, the gold market's in a bubble. It's getting ready to pop. Don't buy gold. He's saying this about his own market. So he's, the good about it is he's like me. We'll tell the truth, what we think, whatever the truth is. It might not be, popular or what people want to hear, but it's the reality. So there is definitely a bubble forming in the bond market. And if this thing pops, and this could be possibly, and what a couple people have actually said, but this could be what Bill Rogers alluded to, that we're going to have a big, horrendous pop that's going to be the biggest ever in the history of the world. He's 74 years old, and it will affect the whole financial system. If the bond market does pop, what he said would be certainly the truth. So I don't know what's going to cause it. I don't want to be a negative guy. It's just something we're watching. We're not there yet, but we'll keep watching it. We'll keep people informed on what's happening.
and it's a lot to keep up with, which is why I tell people, you've got to get to trust, people. Again, a lot of people that I know that send me emails, they trust you, David. And that's why I keep telling people, you got to find people you trust to give you information that you can step out on. Because there's no way. You've been doing this for over 20 years. How many years have you been doing this?
25.
All right. So you've been doing this for 25 years. I think you have a clue. You have your finger on the pulse. So all of a sudden, if I decided in 2 months to go into, financial advising, I don't know if I'd come to me. You know what I'm saying? So you got to get information. You got to really understand what's going on. And now, we want to talk about gold. I want to talk about gold, right? Because somebody is buying up a boatload of gold. Who is that?
Germany.
Wow, Germany.
German. This is on it. Well, first of all, you have individual demand, like you and I and citizens. Then you have governmental demand. Like China's been buying, the government of China, their central bank's been buying enormous amounts of gold. So, but the individual investors now that I'm reporting today about, Germany is the number one. In fact, German demand from investors has surged from 17 tons a year to now 100 tons a year from last year, from 2015 to be reported in 2016. So gold is now taking on a major role in the German portfolios of their investors. I'm going to share something with you that will probably help you understand. There was a lot of surveys done in Germany recently that, with this report that I'm reading, and in 2016, more than 2,000 German investors were surveyed, and 59% of the respondents agreed with the statement that gold will never lose its value in the long term. So that's pretty strong survey saying that. I don't know if I agree to that, but if currency continues to go the way we are going, long term, yes, that is true. So they also said 48% agree that owning gold makes them feel more secure long term. I can go on to say the whole thing, but it was really pro-gold. But here's why they're saying this. German investors have an acute awareness, this is the summary, of wealth and the eroding effects of financial instability. Citing hyperinflation in the 1920s still lingers on in the collective memory of many Germans. But perhaps somewhat much more importantly is German investors have now seen fiat currencies come and go. And in the past 100 years, Germany has had 8 different currencies.
Wow.
So when you buy, in summary, Joe, when you buy gold, you're forward thinking. When you buy stocks, you think forward what's going to happen in that stock that you're buying. Gold is no different than that. So when you buy gold and there's the demand that goes from 17 tons a year to 100 tons a year, something is a pattern that's getting ready to happen in Germany or maybe the world, that there's going to be a change in the currency. Otherwise, why would they be buying so much gold?
David, I hate this. We need like 3 hours with you someday. So let's wrap up this. Tell people how to get information from you, and we got about a minute and a half left.
Well, I got a whole new free newsletter just came out. Black gold for yellow gold, the trade that changes the world. It doesn't tell the most recent news about what Trump said about it on Saturday, which is another excerpt we should talk about. But they can get our information on why the world is coming to gold again by calling 844-715-7311, or they can go to our website at landmarkgold.com.
Perfect. I appreciate it. And listen, guys, you need to head over to the website. You need to find out more about David. You need to find out more about his company. And you need to find out more on how to keep more money in your pocket. Seriously, or at least keep it safe. That's it for us. I'm Joe Messina, your host. Always a pleasure to have you with me. Head up to the website. Give me your email address so I can send you information on the show and topics when we have people we're going to have on. I do appreciate your time with me. God bless. Have a great rest of the day.
Meeting is adjourned. Oh, I am sorry, sir. I didn't mean to overstep my bounds. You say that.
What?
Meeting is adjourned.
It is?
No, you say that, Governor.
What?
Meeting is adjourned.
It is?
You're listening to GCN, the world leader in independent talk radio.
What if a nursing college cared for its students the same way nurses cared for their patients? What if the focus was on keeping students in, not weeding them out? What would happen? Something extraordinary. Join us, and together we can make a difference. Chamberlain University College of Nursing. Extraordinary care, extraordinary nurses.
Attend an open house at the Phoenix campus November 15th, anytime between 5 and 7 p.m. Register now at chamberlain.edu.